Pavlich, a storied career. Start the second term, Saints by 7. Hooked down by McAvoy, taken by Crowley. He's immediately gang tackled. And the ball held to him. Subs, Neale from Glenelg. Youngster who's very quick. Get the feeling he could play a major part in this game, if in fact it's close late. There's Hayes playing a major part right now. He sends it inside the forward 50, tracking it towards the boundary as Duffield. Good balance by Duffield. No, took it across the line. So a boundary throw-in.
Good luck, Ross. I can't believe I said that.
and the two S's were dollar signs, of course.
I'd like Tom to miss that.
But Tom, you've got such a lovely sunny outlook on life. You're not as cynical as Dennis, all right?
A lot of S's in Swiss too, Tom.
Geary's kick out wide, Hayes, and then Stephen brought down. And then Ballantyne had the ball and then went down, and that ball between his legs, and then a boundary throw. Are you okay, Tom?
Yeah, I'm just a little bit appalled with my lack of intelligence there, Bruce.
No, not intelligence.
The colour was different.
Yeah, exactly right.
It wasn't the money, it was the challenge. So McAvoy to tap it down. Johnson, Del Santo.
Just those one-on-one matchups that were put into place. Jones has done well on Hill and Crowley's done well on Dilsano at this point.
We should have Hayden Cam, shouldn't we?
We should have.
Make a fascinating little movie. And Del Santo hooking back and out on the full. So
He's got a feeling he's not going to get those pushing and shoving, going to ground free kicks just at the moment. He might be half a season before he's back on neutral territory with them.
It's Duffield again, out of defence, drives it long, short of the wing though, reaching over the top Sandilands. McAvoy got it on the ground. Hill goes with the right boot, not his preferred side, as the result attested. Picked up there by Anthony, struggling to come really to terms with the tempo at the moment. Simpkin had his kick smothered over the top Pierce, and that ball is wedged in.
More stop-start this quarter. We saw a bit of uncontested free-flying as both sides try to circumvent the loose man behind the play, but repeat stoppage is the order for this quarter.
Tell what was good there. Hill ran across the ball, blocked it. It was a terrific smother by him. That will please Ross Lyon. After maybe the mistake in the opening turn, Stephen tucked the ball under his arm. It's a lovely kick out wide. Main made it hard for Fisher, but Fisher stood up. A couple of best and fairest to his names at the Saints. Geary. So Geary kicks to half forward and just drifting in Stanley. Milne was on the lead and pulled up Milne to allow Reece Stanley to take the mark.
Yeah, Zach Clark lost him. He was watching the ball and didn't really watch, so he was watching his opponent, well, not watching the ball, so therefore McAvoy could, Stanley could drift off him and pretty much jump third up.
She's a good size, isn't he? Look at him here. He's been a slow developer. I mean, when his first couple of games, you thought, wow, the next revolt. And not quite, but certainly to help Nick. But he's just taken a couple of seasons. This is really the first time he's been a regular early in a season.
Yeah, I must say, looks more like a ruckman who can fill in the forward line.
More Cosby,
yeah, I reckon when he develops, rather than the real running athlete like Rewald is. He's very tall.
Oh, danger again. They've done it again here. Revolt back to Montagna. Not a good handball. Ballantyne and brought down by Goddard.
McAvoy to Blake. High up and under. In best position, Stanley. Oh, doing very well. Coming back, Mazungu got a fist on it and needed to.
Do you reckon Fremantle might be sending the message out? Those short kicks from fullback on that 45 into the centre corridor. Maybe just leave them out. Leave them out for a little while.
You're looking at the kick in now. There's no one really on the 50, a long target to go to at the moment. So seeing where they can actually go.
I hate to tell stories, but watching the replay, I think Goddard spoke to Ballantyne. Ball comes outside the 50. Here's a chance for Mazungu. Hard against the line and kicks it too wide. Well, Pavlich,
he's on too.
We would have seen an uncontested possession coming up there, but the ball pitched a couple of metres outside the boundary.
Did you read his lips?
Yeah. Goddard? Wasn't encouraging for Ballantyne.
He might have said,
whoa,
he's gone the other way.
It's 15 all.
He might have said, I'd like to talk to you, but I'm not allowed to.
That's really getting inside his head. That's reverse psychology. Putting the annoy in paranoia. Kick goes across the ground from Barlow. That's beautiful. Sandilands, Pierce, beautiful pass too. That was nice all round. Pavlich comes to the footy and takes the mark full-chested.
It's virtually the only time they've actually gone outside into the centre corridor, straightened up their attack and actually made it work. They've had a few 50-50s that they didn't make work, but this one is a good shot. Pavlich, a good long kick, so the 50-metre line's no problem for him.
Let's see if he can be accurate here. You see, he has lost that weight that Tom talked about before the match. What, 3 kilos this year? So coming back, but he always hung it out. So,
Lee,
disappointing result.
Do you think Ross Lyon would have reinforced the message to bring the ball back in the corridor after missing a few in the first quarter?
Oh, no, well, I think so. I think that's the way they play. I think they're saying, well, the attacking around the boundary that was in vogue is a bit been outdated, and they're prepared to come out the middle. You might make an odd mistake, but it's given him a chance.
Montagna kicked it to himself, booted it to half back. Polo kicks it directly to Johnson. It's had a pretty good night so far, albeit they've got the numbers back there. McFarlane, who's had some wonderful games against the Saints. That wasn't one of his best runs, although he kept his head. Finds McPhee on the outer side. Now storming up the ground is Pavlich over his head. It runs free behind. Getting back is Blake. And Blake sends a high ball to half forward for the Saints. Gorton, that was a good mark. Gorton whips a hand pass away, taken by McFarlane. They'll build from the back again. Johnson's got it. In the true centre-half back position.
You look at it like this when both players seem to be getting extra playback. Which side's going to be advantaged by it? I would think it'd be St Kilda. But just at the moment, Fremantle are going OK with it.
Gee, Johnson's kick was dangerous, but it's got to Barlow. And then Barlow to Sandilands, as Tom said, he's all on his own for the moment. And as big as Blake is, he's a midget alongside the, well, I was going to say the purple giant, but he's not in purple tonight.
Well, I'm sort of trying to think where the best avenue for goal for Fremantle is when they bring the ball in long. They're not getting anything from Anthony. And I was just watching Sandilands on that occasion, just lurking around and not pushing up. So he's been given some instructions to stay at home when he's playing forward.
He's 189, Blake, 6'3", but that's nowhere near Sandilands. He's only had the one shot this year, and he kicked it, and that's a beautiful kick. So the Dockers close the margin here. Gee, Dennis, it's just such a great tactic when he can get forward, isn't it? They can get the ball quickly to him.
Yep. Although now he's come up on the ball, which is a little bit strange, although he goes off for very short breaks. And Clark is an adequate backup as well. He's very agile and a bit of a contrast to Sandilands, so it's a nice mix to have.
You see him just pushing in into the forward 50. He's the on-ball ruckman, but he's decided Fremantle had the ball, push forward and see if McAvoy can find me and chase me.
Sandilands has to wait as this ball drifts over his head, still wins it down. Stolen though by Hayes. Goddard comes away. It was smothered off the boot. Comes at a strange angle across the 50. Kazitsky comes up to meet it. Slips a hand pass to Nunes. He goes back now. Finds Fisher. Fisher. Slick hands. Hayes. Sweeping hand pass. Asking a bit of Polo. Well trapped there by Mundy. But the kick's not good from Hill. He's not having a good night at the moment. More time than he thought there.
Let's look at the hit-outs. 19-9 to Fremantle, but of course the clearances are 14-9 to St Kilda, so certainly it's not working there.
So Hayes sets it up. Hill did well that time. McPhee on his wrong side, and he doesn't get it far enough out. Jones, not the longest kick, but he may, well, he's got Montagna just outside him. Kicked a couple of goals this year, none from set shots.
Well, there's a kick inside by Tuvey last week. Remember when we said that's not their game plan? That was just a player error, and so was this one.
Well, Goddard, a bit squeezed up, couldn't quite get the angle. So actually, Freo did well there, I reckon. They had two blokes converging and enough pressure on Goddard to miss. Now, this kick-in's going to be interesting. Actually, historically this year, both the Saints and Freo have had trouble with the kick-ins. Their transitions have both been disappointing. the amount of times they've got it into their forward 50 from kick-ins is very, very low. And we've seen tonight that the Dockers have actually put themselves in a perilous state a couple of times from short kick-ins. Not this occasion.
So Pearce hard against the boundary line. Sends it very close to the boundary, about 50 metres further afield, where it bounces out.
Well, on the kick-in, St Kilda are playing basically a man-on-man, and so that does put a lot of pressure on the Fremantle player kicking in. So on that occasion, you're best to go for a long bail-out option, but they need the representation from a Sandy Lands or a Clark to give them an option.
Really, to run the ball through the middle, they want to get the ball to Hill, but at the moment, he really just can't find any space against Jones.
Sandilands did well Monday, trying to flick it across towards Duffield. Hayes falling to the ground, so too Gilbert. Both of them succeeded, though. Malera, Milne snaps. Misses, but I think it's going to be a free kick coming back to Mill. Pushed in the back as he kicked.
It was late and hot. Yeah, go free kick.
We'll see what happens here just as well, because Stanley was in the goal square by himself. Completely missed him.
Well, not exactly a push in the back as it turned out.
Stevie, that's the line. Marks in.
No malice in that by Zach Dawson, but that's just clumsy. That's just a lazy forearm to the throat.
Loves that situation, does Milne, but not this time as far as the kick was concerned. Tugged it too early. Through it goes for a minor score. This was good. It was footy right on the brink leading up to that.
I'd be really disappointed if I was a teammate with that.
Here's Ibbotson to midfield. Real opportunity now for the Dockers. Clark gets it off to Mundy. The back lead comes from Anthony. Needs a lift. Drops the mark. Opportunity for Revolt to Blake. Revolt deep in his own defence. Don't often see that. Comes out wide. Hits Gilbert on the chest. Gilbert takes on the man on the mark. Stumbling was Ballantyne. Gilbert had the ball touched off the boot. Taken there by Armitage. Did well.
It did, Dennis. Weaved and found some space in the end. McFarlane and also Stanley. Now we know how quick he is. Well done by Dawson that time. Kosicki and McFarlane. Barlow. McPhee. Good kick to Broughton. Reckon the Dockers look more dangerous just at the minute. Kick to centre wing. Blake wants to bounce. Revolt, who's gone into the back half. Milne back there with him. Main and Milne. Eminem, and then Milne out wide. Well played to Armitage. So a terrific contest. Not high scoring, but a real battle here. Both teams asking a lot of one another. That's a lovely kick. And then Stephen now in the centre square, taking them on.
Beat Mazunga goes very short. Opportunity for Broughton. Broughton applies a tackle, having spilt the mark, and the ball is wedged in there, and we'll have a ball up about 55 metres out.
They just look more dangerous going forward, St Kilda. Unfortunately, it's just not working for Anthony tonight. Ballantyne's getting well upfield, so's Main. Whenever they approach their forward 50, they just don't look like they've got a really good target.
There's the bounce. Over the top, McAvoy looking for Hayes. Missed him. Broughton missed the football virtually. Sliding in was Montagna. On his knees, Fisher. Stanley does well. Dragged down by Subin. Look at the big guy get down. Well done by Sandilands to Crowley. Squeezes a kick towards half forward. Outnumbered was Pavlich. Ball ricocheted off his shin. Trying to soccer it forward was Blake. Opportunity for Mundy. Put down. Backing him up. Doing nicely was Broughton to Ibbotson. Goes wide. Now Clark has it. Ballantyne's on the move. Creates some early pace. Gets to the footy first. He's got the separation, but he can't keep it in. He was quick off the mark there, Ballantyne, and got that separation, but the kick really did him no favours.
Geary left Geary in his wake, didn't he? I almost feel like he's playing against the crowd as well tonight, Ballantyne. I mean, that's not the first time he's done that, I know, but they are on to him, Stephen. And Kosicki takes the mark. On in a hurry. Long bomb. Dawson, Nilly against McAvoy. They would have done that a few times, you reckon, in training together. McPhee to McFarlane. McFarlane the switch. To now Hill's quick. He's got Pearce. Now Goddard's just come off the interchange behind Pearce. Pearce looks up. They've just held it up a bit here. Goes inboard to Johnson. Saints to try and get some numbers back. Pavlich on the burst. It's not a great kick, but it gets inside 50. Pavlich down low. Well done, Mzungu. Not a great handball. Hayes picks it off. Gets it to Goddard. Goddard to Polo. Back to Goddard. Now Revolt short. He handballs to Montagna. Montagna waiting. Goes back. Hayes. Still with Lenny. Poor handball. Well done, Mzungu. Boundary throw in. Richo.
Oh, it's a tough game down here. The Saints are smashing them in contested possession and clearances, but both teams going forward, it's near on impossible to take a mark. Both teams with numbers back. It's going to be tough work scoring here tonight.
Here's Stephen over the football. Pushed off it by Hill. Picked up by Jones. Back to Fisher. Fisher forward of right half back. Sends a high one down towards half forward. McFarlane goes back. Was pushed in the back. No free kick. That was pretty clumsy by Broughton. It'll go against him. But McFarlane was a bit stiff there. Malera gets the free.
Lower harder, well played.
Malera. Down towards right half forward, just setting it up. Delicate kick almost. In front down there, Stanley. Lurking behind was Hill. Sandilands at very close quarters to Crowley. Comes back to Hill. Left it to Pearce. Sandilands eventually. High ball towards the wing. Pavlich, wonderful. Oh, did the hard work, spilt the mark. Good stuff by Dempster to get back, met solidly. He stays down a while. As a result, the Dockers have got a spare man. Pavlich, vacant goal square. That's a clever kick. A long kick to the square wouldn't have done very much because the Saints had a man deep. He split the difference, did Pavlich, with an ungainly but wonderful kick and a goal to Mzungu.
Great call, Dennis. He was working overtime, that brain of Pavlich there. He realised that the long ball in would have been cut off. Mzungu running hard, and he set it up for him. It was a great passage of play. I mean, such a contested 5 minutes of football. One team had to get the break. And right now, Fremantle have so much in this game, I feel. They're playing every bit as good as St Kilda, and they've got their nose in front.
Just forced the ball away from goal, didn't they? But that's the good thing what a good player does, makes good decisions.
No doubt, a lesser player would have bombed away and either kicked directly to St Kilda or kicked the long point. But that's why he's one of the absolute best.
Gee, that was a great tap by Sandilands. So 2-1 to 4 behinds in this quarter. The Dockers, Mzungu just kicked the goal. Quickly to full forward. Ballantyne over the top. Simpkin. Jones off a step. Wobbles it to Fisher. To Goddard. Back he goes. Nunes kicks the ball down the line. Revolt did well there. He had a couple. McFarlane, they just messed it up with Everton. Revolt's wobbly old kick forward. Barlow getting back. What an industrious player Barlow is. Slow handball. Broughton's got to go, and he does. Stephen couldn't bring him down, and now Hill takes off. Did it very well to Pearce. Ballantyne short. So the Dockers have done a really good job in this quarter. Saints have had it in their forward 50 a lot. Pearce off a step. Mzungu, he asks a lot of him. At the back, well done, Dempster. To Blake. And then Blake, it was a bit of a shank, but he had McAvoy wide, and then Hayes. Not a great kick by Hayes. And gee, Pearce was strong, wasn't he?
Chalk and cheese to the effort by Stephen Hill in the first quarter.
Never looked like sport there.
That was a gutsy mark, wasn't it?
Sure was. Do you know how we said in the first quarter that... Let's have a look. Yeah. The first quarter, Dockers need the next goal. Almost feel like right now the Saints need the next goal.
The Dockers are having a good patch now. They've actually just getting a little bit of penetration through their forward line, getting a bit of speed through the midfield.
Mundy after the 50 takes the hand pass. Sandilands is deep. Ball goes in that direction. Lurking behind Pavlich. Double trouble. Pavlich plays on. A little centering kick. Doesn't find a target. Broughton Mzungu smothered off the boot. Ricochets back towards Nunes. Nunes drops it on the boot. Tracking it towards the boundary line is Duffield, and the danger was passed.
Sean Dempster's done a great job on Matthew Pavlich, but we just say on this occasion here, Blake had to be the player to influence the contest there.
Mzungu was on inside, but he just couldn't quite get the ball to him. But they've just messed up 2 or 3 pretty much golden opportunities for him, Fremantle.
You would have just about backpacked from there, wouldn't you, to have thought his way through that for a goal?
Yep.
You're always going to pop it back to a teammate pretty much on his own, 30 metres out in front, but didn't quite get there.
So it's Clark and McAvoy. So where's Sandilands? He's in the goal square. So a quick ball in will be dangerous. Armitage got down low. Malera, that was good effort by Malera. And now Milne brought down in the tackle and a boundary throw in. So Sandilands and Pavlich, the two keys forward at the moment for the Dockers. So the Saints will try and get a third man back at their Sandilands.
And Simpkin.
So that's a great situation for the Dockers. A quick ball in. Clark, Barlow, Mundy to about 50, main outnumbered. Now, this is an important ball. Mzungu went hard at the man. Barlow's hands were good. De Boer swept it a bit too wide for Ballantyne. McFarlane, handball inboard. Main in close quarters. Barlow, they just overplayed it a bit here. Sure. Broughton was good. He went through very hard. Saints just hanging on. Milne in the back half again. Squeezes it out wide. And well done, McAvoy, like a rover. Gets the ball forward. Duffield and Stanley. This is a worry. They won't get him, you know. He runs hard. Well played, Stanley. To Gilbert.
Terrific lead by Gilbert. Knew exactly what he was doing all the time. As he was actually running towards goal, he's got, I think it was his left hand, just saying, just drop it back in front. I'll come back towards it. We might get a good look at it here.
Made that comment before. He sort of looks like ruckman size. He certainly runs a bit quicker than the average ruckman, that's for sure. But I think it's more like he's got a burst like Usain Bolt has. He's ruckman size. But I don't think he's got the agility really necessarily to be a really good key position player. But certainly got the speed.
Well, we talked about Gilbert at the end of the 2010 season, maybe going forward regularly. He's kicked one tonight. He's kicked two tonight. Saints needed it there. Back in front.
Third time in his career he's kicked 2 goals, Gilbert. Smart player. And hard to match up on. Can take a mark. He's quick on his feet, but it was with Stanley who turned a losing situation into a winning one on the outer side. It was real good stuff.
Well, this was fantastic play by Gilbert. He was leading back towards goal. And in modern footy so much now, when they lead back and they don't hit up with the ball carrier, but Gilbert did it beautifully, as Tom pointed out, and hit back at the ball carrier for an easy mark.
Out of the middle, Sandilands having an influence now, working his way right on top. Here's Ballantyne, run down immediately in the silence. Opportunity across half back for Jones. Gave it to Simpkin. Kicks it out wide. Johnson. So Scotty Waters throwing a curve ball to Ross Lyon, not 15 metres. Mundy kicks inside the forward 50. Fisher goes back and takes the mark. Interesting, after he kicked that goal, Gilbert, he headed back for defence. And Revolt, who'd be playing a stint in defence, went on the forward line. So a bit to think about there, and obviously, I think, geared up for the opposing coach as much as anything else. Nunes. Just outside the defensive 50, pops it back in. And Goddard's got it. So 4 points the margin. And a real tug of war. Well, misjudging it completely there was Hill. The mark is taken by Gilbert, who for a moment must have thought as the purple and white blur went past that he was going to be outmarked. Didn't happen. McPhee across half back. Short to Sandilands again. The mantra of the Saints pre-season was draw a line in the sand. Well, right now they need to put a line through Sandilands, I think. He's getting the ball around the ground, and when the game splits open, they're looking better, but the Saints with a goal chance here. This kick is offline. Hit the post from Stephen, deserved a better fate. Caught them on the rebound. The hand pass came across from Polo.
It's a good chase down on Mzungu there, wasn't it? To put the pressure on the kick. Oh, there's it.
Let's go. Late. Took a mark, and then he bumped it.
So that dangerous kick lead, they get an advantage.
They are persevering with their centre corridor attack. I'm not sure about the centre corridor kick out of full-back, but certainly I think they've got to persevere of bringing it back into the centre square, because when they do that, they look the most dangerous going forward.
So Dawson was the recipient. That doesn't please the Saints fans, of course. Ross taking him with him over to Fremantle. Do you think at times, Lee, under pressure, just stick Sandilands in the centre square and kick the ball as long as you can from the kicker?
Well, I mean, he's actually not a bad... If you're going to go into the centre square, if you've got a 200-centimetre bloke on the end of it, he's not going to get outreached, and he's actually been a good link, change of direction player, Sandilands.
Wins this tap. Ballantyne couldn't quite. Blake held up Fisher. Goddard industrious again tonight. He's having a terrific season. That almost a good mark. As it paid, it is. Cossie has got a bit of a spring in his step, has he? Played really well against the Dockers late last year in this match on a Friday night.
Really committed at that football. Told to play on. Takes just a couple of steps and sends a high one up towards the wing. Duffield with the judgment, drops back, claims it. Across the ground to Ibbotson. Inside the centre square. McPhee peels off. Clark is running hard. He'll get it now. Clark's on the wing. Quite a few Saints are back, though. Needs the long ball down the middle instead. Kicked it straight to Malera. Clark battles on. They're outnumbered 3-on-2 here. Well done by McAvoy to Gilbert. Real chance for the Saints now. It comes to Jones. Jones inside the centre square. Finds Revolt.
It was a pinpoint kick that it did take the ball out of the centre corridor, but really Riewoldt knew where the pressure was. This is the turnover. Clark came inside, kicked to the man. See how Riewoldt was able just to find the only space really that he could go to. Makes it a reasonably acute angle.
Malera terrific there, not giving up on the play. Riewoldt misses narrowly. Always on the near side. Malera showed a wonderful vertical leap there as well. He was prepared to work. It wasn't a mark as such because Clark was on his way, but even so, as an obstacle, he did very well. Here's Dempster, who came from Sydney to the Saints with Ross Lyon. Scrambles after it. Again, Sandilands almost tackled before he had the football. Pavlich, Ballantyne, almost run down from behind. Measures the kick to Clark. Clark keen to make amends, goes to Anthony. Anthony to Main, runs into an open goal and gets it. They bounce back. Missed opportunity at the other end. Main gets the goal.
So Main gets his second. How good was Pavlich there in the centre? Oh, his ability there to win a hard ball and then create. Ballantyne getting involved as well. So Main's kicked a couple, but Pavlich's effort in the centre there was just fantastic. I mean, in heavy traffic, he was able to get the ball moving forward, and Main on the end of all of that. So Docker's back in front.
It was interesting here. The tackle was laid. It's just a whole lot of players around the footy, but Pavlich was good enough, flattened his back, laid the handball off, and then the goal was set up from there.
So 3-1 to 1-6 in this quarter. Saints have had the shots, but they haven't been able to convert. It's been a seesawing opening half, about as good as you could have hoped for coming here tonight. So all square. Saints out of the centre. Revolt front spot. Duffield free kick. Revolt.
Thanks, Luke. Arm over the shoulder.
Dick can't go all the way here, you wouldn't think, with that Dicky knee these days. What will he do? Will he set it up to the goals? Cossie's been catching them pretty well tonight. We know McAvoy, Gilbert's coming forward.
Got Sandler's back on the goal line, so any high ball should be easy to force through.
Let's have a look. He struck it okay. Won't get all the way, though. And there you go, Lee. Like any good ruckman.
Come back here, mate. Just give him some room.
How valuable is he, Lee? I mean, he's...
Yeah, really good player. As I said all night, I've just been trying to monitor his hit-outs compared to... I know it's like a broken record, but he just gets his hand to the ball all the time, and a good play around the field.
Fisher's got the football to Stephen. No game this season so far has been level at half-time. And this one might not be either. Kazitsky takes the mark directly in front. After virtually an hour, what we've got is Lyon ball. It's been about Ross Lyon tonight. Scores are level, but this can break the deadlock. Justin Kazitsky against his old coach. Should score something. 39 apiece. Kazitsky's kick is beautiful. Straight through the middle. So the margin is 6 points after Kazetsky gets his first goal. Really good first half. Eddie Hayes leads all comers with 16. Barlow has got 16 as well for Freo. So that pair lead all comers. Let's go down to Richard.
Well, Joey, always good to finish your quarter off with a goal. You had the ball in your forward half most of the quarter, but just couldn't quite finish them off.
Yeah, look, we seem to have a fair bit of footy, but Freo got some numbers behind the ball. We've got to be smarter with our use. We can't just bomb it into them.
Can you change anything up to get around those numbers back?
Oh, certainly. Look, I'm sure Scott and the boys will come up with something for us in the second half to try and get a bit more score on the board.
Thanks.
Thanks, mate.
Nice work, Richo. In Montagna has had how many possessions to half-time? He's had 9. Not a stellar performances yet, but this game likely to break open. Half-time on Friday Night Football, and it's the Saints by 6 points.